We're going to now, we're going to take you to the home of Jordan Rubin, Jordan and Nikki Rubin, who live in Florida. He is the, well, we're going to tell you a little bit about his background, but here is a Messianic Jew who was struck down with an illness at 19 years of age while he was a counselor at a church camp, and within the next couple of years, he was brought right to the death's door, and actually they did not think that he was going to live through the night in intensive care in the hospital, but he knew that the Almighty had a plan for him. He is the founder of Garden of Life. He is the author of the book of not Physician Heal Thyself, but Patient Heal Thyself. And also, that was the first book that I saw from him, and then The Maker's Diet, now 19 others books. He is the founder of Beyond Organic, and his recent book, Live Beyond Organic. He is the one who has accurately defined Kub kosher, coming out of Babylon kosher, because it is beyond the standards of the rabbis. It is beyond the standards of the USDA. This is biblical standard. This is the education that you've been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in the home of Jordan Rubin right here, right now. Take it away. It was 10 years ago in Israel, while Chaim Goldman and I were filming the series, A Rood Awakening from Israel, that my wife Judith brought over a book, Patient Heal Thyself by Jordan Rubin. When I read the book, I knew that this was a provision from heaven, and that what Jordan had experienced in his life was going to be a provision for millions of people. Here we are today, 10 years later, Chaim Goldman behind the camera. We're in the home of Jordan Rubin and Nikki here in Florida, and Jordan has just come out with a new book, Beyond Organics, Living Beyond Organics, and we are partnering with Jordan on his new enterprise to help bring health and healing to the nations. Jordan, it's good to be with you.
It's great to be here, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about Beyond Organic and how it is that you got started in this adventure in life.
Well, I got started in this adventure as a patient. Much like yourself and many others, we think that we're healthy. We think that illness or disease won't strike us. And I was just like that. I was an immortal teenager, grew up in a healthy home. My parents were health conscious. I sort of veered off the path when I would go to friends' houses when I went away to college. But one day, seemingly in an instant, my health went from great, didn't really focus on it, to losing everything. I was diagnosed with 18 illnesses: Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic fatigue syndrome. I had parasitic, fungal, bacterial, viral infections, extreme anemia, kidney problems, heart problems, liver problems, hair loss. My bones were softening. I lost 1.25 inches of my height, and I went down to 104 pounds and in a wheelchair at a height of 6 feet tall. I visited 70 medical experts. Conventional medicine failed. Natural cures failed. Around the world in a wheelchair, I journeyed to try to find something to help me. 2 years into my illness, I met a man who said to me, "Jordan, if you follow a diet and lifestyle based on the Bible, you can get well." I read the Bible every day, thought it was a spiritual book, but I was awakened as if scales came off my eyes, and I saw the Bible anew. I saw it for the life manual that it really was. And I realized that God doesn't waste our pain. He allowed me to suffer so I could help just one person. And I wanted to do it in a way that would give Him glory. So I flew to San Diego, California from my home in South Florida in a wheelchair, and in a 40-day period, learning from a man I'd never met, principles I'd never heard of, I went from death to life, from tragedy to triumph, and maybe from mess to messenger.
And what we saw on the cover of your first book really was an example of that. The emaciated picture of yourself as a college student, and did this disease not hit you when you were a counselor in a church camp?
Absolutely. I wasn't sure if it was the church chow or if it was a real illness. But you know, when you're 19 years old, you think something that hits you is going to go away tomorrow or the next day. This lasted 2 years. People say, "Jordan, what did you feel like?" everyone can somewhat sympathize. It's like having a 24-hour virus for 24 months, like having food poisoning for 2 years. I felt like I was getting surgery done on my gut without anesthesia. The hopelessness. Friends didn't come around anymore. My parents spent a fortune of money on natural health, including, or in addition to rather, premiums for insurance. This was absolute living hell. 24 hours a day, couldn't sleep, but I knew that the God who created me could heal me. And I held on to that Hebrews 11:1 faith, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence or assurance of things not seen. I wanted to get well by the first doctor's recommendations, the 10th, the 20th, the 30th. But the 70th man I talked to pointed me to the Bible and set me on this journey over 15 years ago. And in this period of time, I created whole food nutritional supplements in a company called Garden of Life. God blessed it. I wrote books like Patient Heal Thyself and The Maker's Diet. God bless them. But all the while, I knew that the world we see around us, the medical system, the food system, the political system, is the emperor's new clothes. I realized that the foods that I needed to buy were illegal in some states. Think about it this way, Michael. You can't buy raw milk from a farmer if you choose to, but a doctor is allowed to tell somebody when they're going to die, how long they have to live, and what percentage of people just like them suffer the rest of their life. We're backwards today. We are in Babylon.
Absolutely.
And the more you learn about it, the scarier it is. But, as God says in Matthew, straight is the gate and narrow is the path that leads to life, and there are few who find it. And my vision 15 years ago was to find a way to produce the world's healthiest foods and beverages for me, my future family, and the world. And after 15 years, I can say, we're starting to do it.
That's right. And I am a recipient of the benefits of what you went through in your life, because it wasn't that long ago, just 2 years ago, that I was in and out of a wheelchair for 2 years. I went through a whole detoxification program, but the first thing we did, phase 2, is that we went right out to get the things that you developed through Garden of Life. And as a matter of fact, we met right here at a health food store in Florida. You were speaking that night, and I came in and got some more supplements from Garden of Life. But, you know, it's not just the whole food supplements. It was then the whole lifestyle change. Because as the scripture says, to come out of Babylon, one of the things told to Abraham in the book of Genesis, we see in the book of Revelation, to come out of Babylon. And you have helped to unmask Babylon and the entire food system and the medical system that's killing us, really. And now you have stepped from the Garden of Life and the nutritional supplements to now a lifestyle, as far as now living beyond organic. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I love nutritional supplements, and I've formulated over 100. I use them every day, but the bottom line, Michael, is what you swallow that you can hold in the palm of your hand can't equal what you eat in plates, bowls, cups, and glasses. And so what I realized was there needed to be an example of a regenerative program, starting with the land and the soil, all the way through human life. God told me I needed to be a Joseph, to store up food, shelter, hydration, clothing, and protection for people for these times that are at hand. I didn't realize what that was, but when I read the story of Joseph in Genesis, I realized that nobody in the civilized world at the time, when the famine came, nobody survived but by the hand of Joseph. He was given wisdom by God that even though the times were plenty, there was going to be a famine. And I knew that I needed to be somebody to find a way to bring forth these biblical quality foods and beverages the way God intended. I went on a nationwide search looking for the purest water, the healthiest foods. And Michael, over 15 years of my life, I have spent ordering foods from all over the country and world, going to back alleys, to co-ops, to find dairy products from Amish farmers that were unlabeled and maybe not even safe. I wanted to do something where we could deliver people around America foods and beverages, the quality of which has not been seen for 2,000 years. The dairy products that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob consumed. The meat products that David and Solomon consumed. Now we know that they're organic, but they even go beyond organic. And I said this to you yesterday at lunch. People believe organic is the expression, the ultimate measure of health. Truth is, if you can get 2 brown cookies with white cream in the middle that are organic, organic is not the end-all, be-all. And I said this yesterday, organic, it has the form of healthiness, but it lacks the power thereof. Organic is inclusive, not exclusive. And I told you and wrote in my book, Live Beyond Organic, that 13 major corporations own most of the organic brands that we buy in health food stores and grocery stores. These are not small farms, they're not mom and pop farms, but we are taking our 8,500 certified organic acres, we're taking our spring water that we've never even seen water as pure as this, and tested hundreds of springs, and delivering it from our farm to your family. It is more important now than ever, Michael, to know where your food comes from and who's producing it.
I'll tell you, Jordan, this was really enlightening in your book when I saw that what I perceived to be organic, very healthy foods, when I saw the major corporations who actually own what is being put out on the market as organic, not just natural, which means nothing in America today, but organic, in seeing the big corporations involved in this, I was shocked, because we are staring Babylon in the face. They put the pictures up there of the cows out in the pastures and all, but in reality, what is going on behind the scenes in the regulations for organic are frightening to see that. You are taking this commission of being a Joseph, and I've seen you're putting it all in. You are all in on this thing. Yes. And people need to understand that this is a major commitment, because you're going up against the big corporations in the world to be able to provide real food for the believers. Tell us a little bit more about what's going on with this, with the business organic and the beyond organic, right, and what you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, we call the organic kind of monster organizations industrial organic. So they abide by the regulations, but just like in traditional beef production, a cow which is supposed to eat grass, you can read that in the Bible, whenever the Levites were given a certain allotment, they were given pasture for their cattle. You didn't see them given feed houses or storehouses of grain. So organic is better than conventional, no doubt, but it is very similar in certain ways as well. You can vaccinate your cattle. You can use manure from local poultry and even feedlots with cattle to spread on your field. So you're getting antibiotic residues and chemicals in organic soil. We talked about how similar and how eerily similar it was. Conventional, forget about it. Organic is better, but when it comes to following God's plan, no blood, don't eat the fat that surrounds the organs and cushions the tissues in a cow, and certainly allow it to be raised properly. There's nowhere else to go. I've committed this year, Michael, to not consuming any red meat other than what Beyond Organic produces, unless I know it's certified organic, grass-fed, and kosher, which I haven't found yet. We slaughter our animals the biblical way, and there's no fancy way to pretty up slaughter. It's still slaughtering. But we do it in a way that the cattle are healthy throughout their life, and even when they die, which I believe we were given dominion over animals, I believe red meat is healthy for us. The Bible speaks about that from Genesis to Revelation. I also believe there's a way to treat these animals, and if we treat them well, the benefits are huge. Think about this. Kosher meat allows genetically modified grains, antibiotics, hormones, and all kinds of other unhealthy inputs to the cow. Organic and grass-fed slaughters the cow wrong. And some brands are now halal, which is basically the modern-day equivalent of being sacrificed to an idol. I believe that the meat and also the dairy, which I have committed to only consuming our dairy products, because the dairy that we produce, our cultured dairy, our cheeses, they are produced without a protein that is so dangerous, it could be 13 times worse than gluten found in grains. We believe we have found the missing link between the dairy of the Bible and the dairy of today. And best of all, Michael, anyone can consume it. Not only can they consume it, we've made a way for people to consume these foods for free by sharing the message with others. There really is an opportunity to learn and live the way God intended.
That's right. And as you indicated in your first book, that it was a biblical diet that you went on. and you went from an emaciated person that even looking at it today, I still don't recognize you. I really can't tell that was you. And then you see you in the prime of health because you went on this biblical diet. Now you're opening up the doors where everyone can now partake in this. And this is what is impressive to me, because what the scriptures call food, we do not see in our grocery stores anymore. And things that are raised according to how our Creator designed them to be raised, and to be able to eat meat and to have milk and to have it done the way that it was done 2,000, 3,000 years ago, it has not existed. It's not even been a consideration until you really opened the door on this, and now you are making this available basically to the whole world, especially to us here in America. We have the ability to partake of this right now.
Absolutely. And here's the best part. When I was in San Diego and I had to fly from Florida to California because the foods that I wanted to eat and needed to eat according to the Bible were illegal in this state, that bothered me. And I knew that the powers that be were trying to get rid of some of these foods. I visited small farms. They had a great vision but didn't have the resources for safety measures and quality. I went to the big farms and they didn't have the vision or care to do it right. We had to go out and do something that no one has ever done before. And people have asked me, Michael, why did you start Beyond Organic? Jordan, you could have just really taken it easy. You had a chance after Garden of Life success to do whatever you wanted. Why such a huge undertaking? My answer is simple. I started Beyond Organic because nobody else would. Because nobody else did. I thought that I was following a biblical diet back in the day. And I did the best that I could. Live Beyond Organic, the book, the diet, and the Beyond Organic foods are the next generation of what helped me get well. I didn't know that all grass-fed and organic meat were slaughtered wrong. I didn't know they included the fat that is the storage place for toxins in animal foods. And we decided to take it to the next level.
Yeah, the very thing that the scripture tells us not to eat, the fat that we're told not to eat, we are eating that in every bit of hamburger, even organic out there, because they are not going by the standard. That is why I appreciate so much of what you are doing on this. And let's talk a little bit about price for a minute, because you know, this is the first thing that we were having lunch the other day at an organic restaurant.
Let's not talk about the price of those foods. Thank you for lunch, by the way.
Okay.
$14 smoothie, anyone?
Yeah, but you get what you pay for. You can buy pharmakia, as it tells us in the scripture. You know, the entire world is being deceived by pharmakia, that which is created in a laboratory by man, and the Creator never sanctified it, nor did He create it for us to put in our body. You now, to find biblically what we are to put in our body that's clean, it costs something.
Oh yeah.
And you've been paying the price your whole life, and you are the end result now of the strength because of that. Now let's talk about the price and what people are really buying with this, because you know, we're now stepping into another world. We're talking about which is biblically not only clean but healthy on the cellular level.
Sure. Well, first of all, when people say, is it expensive? Expense really is in the eye of the beholder. The question should be, am I getting value? And my answer is, number one, there is nothing to compare Beyond Organic foods to. We don't have a cultured dairy product like yogurt or kefir. Ours is called a masi, created in response to the recipe that the Maasai tribe of Africa, the warrior tribe, used to consume from a certain type of cow that originated in Africa, the Indian subcontinent, and the Middle Eastern subcontinent. This is the dairy that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob consumed. This is the dairy that the Messiah was prophesied to consume in Isaiah 7:15. And curds and honey will he eat in order to choose the good and refuse the evil. Our cows produce what they naturally should produce in milk, Michael. The average organic cow produces 3 to 5 times more milk. Our products are premium, there's no doubt. However, when you drink our water, when you consume our amasi, or our really raw cheese, when you consume our beef or our Beyond Organic chocolate, you're getting a premium product that is so uniquely suited for your body, there's no comparison. However, you will find examples of these foods, or somewhat categorically similar foods, at your health food store that are very similar in price. But with Beyond Organic, we are sending our products from our farms to your family. We actually give you an opportunity, if you share this message, to get your food for free. Right now, Michael, thousands of people are consuming Beyond Organic foods for free every day, replacing what they already would be buying at a health food store, and they know where it comes from. They can tell their children exactly the place that produced the food they're eating. We own the land, we own the cows, we own the processing facility, we own the spring. It is critical that we control every element of this because your health is too important. And by the way, Michael, since I was making minimum wage when I was 21, I've been consuming the same food. It's always made up a greater portion of my financial budgetary pie chart because I know what it's like to lose your health, and I am never going back there.
So rather than expending all your money on the newest car, instead you spend it on your health and on your life and to eat what the Bible said to eat.
Absolutely, and I wish I could say you can go to the health food store and buy this meat. You might find grass-fed, you're not going to find biblically processed. You can go to the kosher butcher, you might find kosher, but you won't find green-fed and organically raised. You can go to organic and you'll get cattle that are vaccinated every couple of months. We don't have vaccines on our property because if I don't vaccinate my kids, I'm not going to vaccinate my pets. There just happens to be thousands of them. Michael, the reason there's no comparison to this food is it doesn't exist, and it maybe hasn't for 2,000 years, and I am going to get this message out to people no matter what it takes.
Well, Jordan, I am going to help you get this message out too. I believe in it, and I've been doing a tour in America, which is coming out of Babylon, and it's basically the health message. When I talk about Kub Kosher, coming out of Babylon Kosher, when I read your book, I see you've already not only defined it, that it's on a different level. You know, the rabbis will kosher cigarettes, okay? You know, this was never created to be ingested into our body. What you're doing is taking us back to the garden, basically. And this is really where we're all heading back to the garden. The end of the book of Revelation is finally we are back in the garden. There's no more sin. There's no more death. There's no more disease. And the leaves of the trees are again for the healing of the nations. Now, we have this opportunity right now, and we are going to continue on. I want to have you back next week on Shabbat Night Live.
Absolutely.
And because we really need to really inoculate our brains and our lifestyle from the pollution of this world. And so I need you to come back on and tell us more about this. Tell us more about your journey. But right now, I know that we're running right at the end of a situation here where people can join the Beyond Organic family. And through our ministry, it helps, not only helps our ministry, but it also helps them to get in with your new book, with also being able to purchase these things, and also share the message with others to help them come out of Babylon. And tell us a little bit about the program right now.
Well, there's a few ways to join Beyond Organic, and one way, if you just want to purchase the food at wholesale prices, we typically have a membership fee like a Costco, Sam's, or a BJ's. But this month only, which is one more day, when this show is being watched, we have a program where you can purchase for $50 a great assortment of Beyond Organic foods and beverages to try pretty much everything we have. You also get a free copy of my book, which is a $20 value, Live Beyond Organic, which is right here. This book will give you the roadmap to succeed and prosper in health, physically, spiritually, and mentally. It's really an amazing book. It's got my latest dietary program in it. For $50, you get about $113 value. It is time sensitive, and as you mentioned, Michael, where else can you bless your health, your family's health, and help spread the truth of the gospel around the world? What a great win-win-win. So I want to encourage people who are watching, log on, click on this screen to find out more about this brand new package where you can begin to eat and live Beyond Organic. And they can also contact the ministry if they say, I want to spread this message. I want to share it with my church or congregation. I want to share it with my family, or if you're a doctor, we have thousands of doctors that have joined. I want to share it with my patients. We decided not to go retail with Beyond Organic because I needed your viewers. I needed people like you to share this message passionately because it takes education. You can't compare these foods and beverages to what's at your store. I love health food stores, Michael, but if I send someone in there to buy things, they could come out worse in their health than they went in. We talked about this. What percentage of foods will I eat in a health food store? Probably 5%, maybe less. Everything at Beyond Organic is designed to make your body healthier for your children, for you. It's time for people to understand what value is. Either you pay the farmer more now, the doctor more later, but in this case, not only can you eat Beyond Organic for free, you can share the message and bless others, starting with A Rood Awakening.
That's right. At the end of Shabbat, we invite you all to go ahead and sign up for the Beyond Organic and to get this entire package. This is a great opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. And as you know, I have been on this for a couple years in helping people regain their health and change their lifestyle. Every month, we've got another 100, another 50 people that have been doing the cleanse to take their initial steps out of Babylon. But where do we go from here? This is an entire lifestyle, ladies and gentlemen, and this is real nutrition, biblical nutrition. Of course, you can gorge yourself on the poisons of Babylon all day long at a fraction of the price. But to get the real food, to get the real thing, this is the place. And it was 10 years ago in Israel. Shabbat Shalom, welcome back. We were with Jordan Rubin at his house in Florida. We were with him a couple of times when we were in Florida doing the cleanse with Dr. Tunsky, getting together with Jordan and really getting some background after having read his book, his new book, which is Live Beyond Organic. Wanted to get together with him and ask him some very specific questions. And one of them was, well, you know, some of us were concerned when we saw that, you know, what they were producing, we could see that it was very fine quality, but, you know, where's the filet mignon? Where are the, you know, the cuts of meat? Are these being sold off to restaurants and we get the scraps? And when I found out that he's taking the entire cow, getting rid of the fat, all the things that we are not supposed to eat, they get ground up even in organic traditional meat that you buy in the grocery store. You know, all that fat that the scripture says to get rid of, don't eat the fat. If you eat the fat, you die. And how do we die? Because we clog our arteries with this garbage. And the Almighty said, don't do it. He said it's an ordinance forever. And when I found out that Jordan was doing exactly that, getting rid of the fat, and then the entire thing, the filet mignon, is actually in the hot dogs. And we had some of it at the office, and it was delicious. And so I appreciate what Jordan's doing. Thanks for your attention for this period of time. And I really understand what Jordan is talking about, because we really have to be on the vanguard of teaching this, to teach people to come out of Babylon and to be kub kosher, to go beyond the organic standards. That's what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen.